Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. There's this absolutely fascinating, honestly beautiful science behind long-term brain wellness. The story of our cognitive health isn't one of fear or sudden loss. It's actually a story of empowerment. Think about the quiet focus of just tying a shoe in the morning light. That sense of routine, that calm preparation. That's exactly what we're going to explore today. How your brain responds to the gentle, daily signals you send it, and how you can actively shape its future. Okay, let's dive into this. Brain health really isn't about finding some quick fix or a magic pill. It is deeply rooted in the repeated routines we build over time. We're talking movement, quality sleep, healthy blood flow, active learning, and rich social connections. These are the powerful inputs your brain relies on every single day. It's a dynamic organ, and it's constantly listening to the environment you create for it. Now, here is a number that totally changes how we look at cognitive health: 20. Research shows that cognitive decline, like Alzheimer's, doesn't just start the day someone misplaces their keys or gets brain fog. No, it quietly begins up to 10, even 20 years earlier with zero noticeable symptoms. But look, rather than being a scary fact, this 20-year window is our greatest opportunity. It literally gives us decades to train and protect our minds. So to actually protect the brain, we have to understand what's happening beneath the surface, specifically oxidative stress. See, when you're under constant stress or sleep deprived or dealing with inflammation, your cells produce these unstable molecules called free radicals. They act like tiny scavengers, ripping into healthy cells. And your brain cells, they're especially vulnerable. This oxidative stress silently damages the mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells. When those power plants fail, the cell starves. And this is the quiet breakdown happening long before you ever notice any tiredness. Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is the blood-brain barrier. You might be thinking, hey, I'll just take some antioxidants to neutralize those free radicals. But your body has a VIP bouncer, the blood-brain barrier. It's an amazing filtering security checkpoint designed to keep toxins out. The problem is, it doesn't make exceptions for the good stuff either. It actively blocks most standard antioxidants, like vitamin C or E, from ever reaching your brain tissue. Let's look at how general vitamins compare to specialized plant compounds. Take a proactive guy named James, for example. He takes vitamin C and E every single day, but he doesn't notice any change in his focus. Why? Because those standard vitamins do great work in his bloodstream, but they just bounce right off that blood-brain barrier. But science is discovering that specialized plant compounds, like rosmarinic acid from rosemary or SOD from melons, can actually slip across that crucial checkpoint. They do their protective work directly inside the nervous tissue. But here is the catch. They only protect the cells you already have. They do not build anything new. To actually build new cognitive wiring, your brain needs a workout, which brings us to a really beautiful truth. Busy is not the same as challenged. Think of a woman named Linda. She's busy all day running tours and cooking. She feels highly active. But she's doing tasks she has done 10,000 times before. Her brain is on pure autopilot. Familiar routines, no matter how busy they keep you, well, they don't ask the brain to build a single new connection. So how do we force the brain to build brand new connections? We hand it awkward, unfamiliar problems. We're going to walk through 7 essential brain exercises. These coordination exercises are specifically designed to force your brain to build new wiring. The goal here is aiming for 10 to 20 repetitions each. And just remember, the moment you feel yourself struggling, that is the exact moment new wiring is being built. All right, first up is the ring slide. This is an easy warm-up. Just touch your index finger and thumb together to form a ring, and then slowly slide it up and down the fingers of your other hand. Start slow, then pick up the pace. I know it looks almost too simple, but this specific cross-hand movement is brilliant because it immediately gets both halves of your brain firing simultaneously. Moving right along to number 2, fist and palm. Place one hand flat down on your knee and stand the other hand up in a fist. Now switch them at the exact same time. As you practice this motion, keep in mind that making clean, exact switches matters far, far more than speed. That precision is what forces the brain to pay attention. Next up is number 3, nose and ear. With one hand, grab the tip of your nose. With the other, reach across and grab your opposite ear. Now clap and switch hands. It feels kind of like a kid's game, right? But the neuroscience here is absolutely stunning. To pull this off, your brain has to hold your hand's current position in its working memory while planning the next move. This brilliantly lights up your prefrontal cortex, the exact region that often takes an early hit in dementia. Number 4 is tap and rub. You probably know this one, the classic challenge of patting your head while rubbing your belly in slow circles. Once you've got it, switch hands. And hey, If you feel totally uncoordinated and frustrated doing this, congratulations. Neurological rehab clinics use tasks exactly like this. That frustrating struggle to coordinate is the literal sensation of forging new neural pathways. The struggle is the entire point. Exercise 5 is the goat and cow. This one's tricky. One hand makes a goat, so index and pinky out. The other makes a cow, thumb and pinky out. Switch both at once. To really supercharge this complex finger positioning, try counting or naming objects out loud while you switch. Adding speech forces your brain to run in multiple cognitive gears all at once, creating an incredible workout. Let's move to number 6, the salute and thumb, and see how this builds. Alternate a military salute with one hand and a thumbs up pointing forward with the other. Switch them together. Take it slow at first, but here's the trick. The moment this movement starts to feel smooth and easy, your brain stops working hard. So, the second it gets automatic, you absolutely must speed it up. Finally, we have number 7, finger taps. Walk your thumb to touch each finger in a wave. Pinky, ring, middle, index, then run it back down. Do it on one hand, then the other, then both simultaneously. Brain imaging shows something magnificent here. This single sequence lights up the motor cortex, sensory cortex, cerebellum, and planning regions all at once. It's a full brain symphony. It's so important to know what this journey actually looks like. Take a woman named Carol. In week 1, she tried these exercises, fumbled badly, and felt pretty silly. In week 2, she just kept practicing the sequences. By week 3, that complex goat and cow switch that had previously tied her hands in knots began to flow with smooth wiring. It's not magic, it's physiology. Her brain successfully built brand new wiring that simply did not exist 3 weeks prior. Which brings me to a direct question for you. How old are you? I ask because of a concept called cognitive reserve. Think of it as your brain's safety margin, a beautiful buffer protecting you from dementia. Research shows that after 50, this reserve starts thinning out noticeably faster. The later in life you start handing your brain unfamiliar problems, the lower your starting reserve tends to be. But the amazing news is you can start building it back today. So what does the protocol actually look like? It's an incredibly approachable ask. Just try unfamiliar problems for about 15 minutes a session, a few times a week. That's it. Over a couple of months, many people notice faster thinking and sharper focus. And importantly, if you ever notice ongoing inflammation, deep tiredness, or high stress, always use that as a prompt to discuss it with your doctor. Cognitive decline doesn't just arrive out of nowhere, it builds over years. And that means you have years to actively build a beautiful, resilient wellness story. Stepping off autopilot, protecting your cognitive reserve, and forcing your brain to learn new things is the greatest gift you can give your future self. So I leave you with this final thought. Will you hand your brain a new problem today? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Keep challenging yourself and take wonderful care of that brilliant mind of yours.